Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 12 of the Bulls and Kangaroos. Now, you'll notice that I'm on my own this week, and that's because Peter's away on business. He's somewhere in the States, he's off doing his thing there for a while, but he'll be back next week. With a good wind and as long as he's recovered from all of these flights that I know he's got interconnecting flights going all over the place. So, yeah, he'll be back next week. So, what I wanted to do really, rather than talk about what I'd seen myself in my trading week, just given because I'm in sort of like waiting mode still for a couple of things. The market's been teasing me a little bit by getting close to where I think I can get into the action, and then there's been a couple of reversals really. So um, what I wanted to do was just give you a little bit of a basic tool using Excel to think about your starting account balance and to think about your profitability and what that does for giving you some realistic ideas of how much money you might want to start off with, what your trading account size might look like in the beginning. And this all really came about as an idea because I was in one of the chats and one of the traders was asking questions around that. So I've done a little video and have a little look at that, and then I'll see you when that's done. Okay, so let's get into it. The spreadsheet that you can see on the screen takes into account some of the things I mentioned earlier on. So we had a trader who was asking about a monthly profit of $10,000. All right, so I thought I'd put this little thing together. Let's assume that they can make an annual return of 40%, and that's the trader's done their back testing, they've had their strategy, they've back tested it, they've managed to put themselves together a portfolio that's returning 40% a year. Now, because this trader wanted to know about $10,000 profit per month, and for the sake of the illustration, I suppose, I've just divided that 40% by 12. There you go, 40% divided by 12 to give us an average monthly return. Okay, so normally, a straightforward calculation to work out what your profit would be your account size multiplied by your monthly return. Add them two together, and you get your multiply them two together to get your monthly profit. But because he wanted to know what account size he'd need to be able to take $10,000 a month profit, you just have to tweak that equation a little bit, and that becomes the account size is equal to the average monthly profit, so that's 10,000, divided by the average monthly return, and that's the 3.33% we got there. So as soon as you put them numbers in there, this first cell is just equal to your $10,000 profit. And these little dollar signs around the letter, really, that just keeps Excel looking in that cell for the calculation purposes. And as you drag formulas down, that becomes important to know, okay? And then so if you want to work out your required starting balance, as per this equation, it's your average monthly profit, which is your $10,000, divided by your average monthly return, which is in this cell, the pink cell there. And again, the dollars signs around there just keep Excel looking at that cell for the calculation, okay? And then you can see that to be able to take $10,000 a month at this annual rate of return, which we've just, which isn't untypical, I suppose, let's just say that, you'd need a starting balance of $300,000. Now, straight away, that gives somebody who's new to Forex trading a little bit more of an idea of the numbers that are involved. Um, it's easy to see, and we get messages all the time, don't we, through on the internet, and through all the different socials, that tell us, oh, you can make X amount and you can make so many thousands of dollars, and that might be right, and that might work for some people, but what sometimes you're not seeing is the amount of risk that they're putting on the table in order to achieve those profits, and that might not be palatable for you, and you might not be willing to put your whole account on one trade to make this these massive numbers. So you start building up your knowledge around the reality of some of the numbers and how they work. And this is just a simple way of giving you a bit of a feel. But this little Excel table I just put together really just to sort of demonstrate specifically this query that this trader had. So, okay, going back to it, if you need 300,000 to start off with to get your $10,000, and then at the end of that month you've got $310,000, you take your 10,000 away, and then your account balance is back to the 300,000. And what that means is that over the course of the year, by the time you get all the way down to the end of December, you've still got the same account size that you started with. Yeah, you've had $10,000 a month, but really the name of the game is to increase your account size, because you're still making the same percentage amount each time, regardless of what your account size is. So if you think in percentage terms, that's what you want to keep adding to your account size, because it's just as easy to make 40% on a $5,000 account as it is to make 40% on a $300,000 account. Now, there are different psychological considerations that will come into play there when you start looking at the amount, and if you start looking at the dollar value um, of the risk that you're putting on each trade. But you can work, and there's tools so you can work around all of that stuff, and that's all part of growing and becoming a trader. Another spreadsheet really, which I'll show you, which is a little bit more maybe, well, I found this type of simple approach useful to me at the beginning of my trading endeavors. Okay, so what have you got to start off with? Maybe you've got $1,000 there, and maybe you've got you still the same annual rate of return. Well, at the end of that month, you've made 3.33%, which translates as that $33 profit. And you've got your month end balance. And my approach is really don't take any of that money out. Let's let that grow. So that at the start of next month, I've got this total, which is the profit added to the start balance from the previous month. And then you can see then that by the time you get to the end of that month, you've got 1,482. But let's do it this way around, okay? In the previous sheet, he had a starting balance of 300 grand, and at the end of the year, he still had 300 grand. Don't forget, he's had his 10 grand a month, which is nice. Let's put the start balance in at 300,000 there. We've got the same return. At the end of year one, that's jumped up to 444,000. So, for the purpose of the illustration, right, he's taken 10,000 out each month. And then, so what does that add up to? Each month, there's 12 months, so that's $120,000. If you took $120,000 away from 444,000, you'd get, let's just do it, shall we? Equal to that minus, what did I say, 120,000? $324. See, so because you've been leaving the money in, you've been able to increase your you've been able to increase your profit, because each time you started the new month, you were starting from a higher account balance, higher starting balance. So there's the as I said, the name of the game, and really for me, is to just keep that account balance growing. Um, so yeah, it's a simple spreadsheet. It's a simple spreadsheet. I've showed you how to put the formulas in the cells. I've explained about the dollars, the little dollar signs, and yeah, showed you how to have a little play with that. But um, yeah, going back to what the original sort of idea behind all of this was, I wanted to see what account size, when the trader asked, I just wanted to work out what account size that they would need. And if you change your annual return, you might do your back testing. You might say, oh yeah, but I get 60% on my back testing. So you put that in there and look, see, because you've got a more profitable strategy, your account balance goes down to your required account balance, or your minimum required account balance to get to 1,000 profit goes down to 200. Let's just say you've blown it out of the water and you've got 80%. I'm not sure how realistic that is, but that number still comes down again. But you might have a bad year, and instead of your 40, you might have just, I don't know, 30, 20%, say. And that equates to, if you still want that 10 grand, that equates to needing 600 grand. So, like, the idea is that you can have a play around with some of these spreadsheets. But I just wanted to give you a little idea of how to start crunching the numbers as a beginner. So, there you go. I stumbled around that a little bit, but hopefully you got the gist of it. It's really easy to start doing some basic calculations and some ideas around account size, and what that might mean in terms of money that you can take out of a trading account, and just give you, you start to build up a bit more of a realistic appreciation of what's involved, and it all helps and builds into your perception or your reality of what forex trading might be. So there you go. Have that. Have a little play with that. If you've got any questions about that, shoot some comments into that comment section, and me and Peter will be back next week. And as Peter always says, let's try and be the 10% of traders that 100% trades their trading plan. Okay, until next time, I'll see you. Bye.